Do you want to maybe share a bit about kind of what's been happening in Q1 really and moving into Q2 so far?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Sam. It's been a while since we connected again with the community. I think, as you said, late Feb. Just trying to think back to that. It's been feels like an age ago, doesn't it? Back in GameStop saga land, early kind of Q1. So I won't rehash it too much, but I think there's like one really big headline that has happened since then, and I think we'll try and concentrate on what that means for the company and what it means for our customers and kind of the trajectory that we're kind of on, and that's the Series B. So last community meetup, I think I was like, I got a question on it, and I said something that our Alex, our PR guy, is like, "Ooh, you shouldn't have said that," kind of thing. But it was like, we actually closed our Series B, I think about a week after that, and then it takes a little bit of time to do, legals and all this kind of stuff. But it's been great to announce that the Series B it just takes a little bit of time. Maybe a lot of time in comparison to crowdfunding, which I think a lot of our audience today is kind of our investors, and have felt the excitement of raising 4 million in like 10 seconds or whatever. It takes a little bit more time on the institutional side, but so Series B closed, 35 million primary, means it's like new money into our bank account. So we've got 35 million of new cash sitting in our corporate account that we're diligently looking to deploy to hit our kind of our targets and whatnot. And then the headline number was a bit higher because we wanted to open up that opportunity to all of our existing shareholders. So all of our crowdfunding shareholders, I think it's like 18,000 of them, had the opportunity to participate in this funding round as kind of like you call it liquidity or secondary. And I'm to be honest, it's like one of the proudest moments of my life, or just of being at Freetrade, just being able to offer that opportunity to our early investors that believed in us when we had literally nothing more than a pitch deck and a mock-up of the app. And to kind of layer on top of that, only 5% of our investors took it up. So Crowdcube's never seen this before. I remember asking their head of legal or general counsel, like, what do you usually see in these things? You open up a secondary opportunity to crowdfunding investors. And he said, usually, 50-60% of people take it up. We saw less than 5%. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for our believers, our supporters. I know everyone on the Freetrade side on this call are all crowdfunding investors first before they joined Freetrade. So well, maybe not myself, but I've dipped in every round. So that's the big one to talk about, and we'll get into some more kind of granular questions later. And then I'm going to kind of turn it over to Victor to talk about how you're going to spend it. We got 35 million burning a hole in your pocket there, Victor. Obviously, the other thing I forgot, I wrote it down. The other thing I just wanted to mention, we've also kind of taken the lid a little bit, just a little bit, off of our plans on international expansion as well since the last time we spoke. So I think you might have seen an article in Alex, what's it called? The Australian Financial Review, I think it's called, but it's kind of like the FT of Australia, talking about our expansion down there. We've got boots on the ground, multiple boots. We've got a team, and it's going to expand real fast down in Australia. We've got people in Canada, where I'm from. We're going to be there, and we've also got a team in Sweden. So Carl, maybe at some point he'll join one of these AMAs as well. But we've got a MD there, great MD coming from JP Morgan, and the European dream is happening. And I think at that, I'll turn it over to Victor to talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it actually turns out it's not very easy to spend 35 million pounds. I mean, I'm sure people would have ideas, but spend it efficiently, right? And put it to work the way we want. So we are in this like really good position that our cash position is really huge. What we burn is not that huge, and we want to put it to work. So for starters, and I'll talk about Europe in a second, we actually have 80 plus roles on the website. So if there are any software engineers, compliance experts, operations specialists, anything like that in the audience, I encourage you to, and marketers, of course, encourage you to go to the website and check it out. But yeah, the big news is that from our company's perspective, we are already a European company officially. As Adam said, there are boots on the ground in actually various countries. So Sweden, everyone knows about it, everyone knows why we are there, and that's going to be the first country we are going to expand into. That's official. You probably heard it first, unless we had a blog post before from Sam or something. So that is happening. As Adam mentioned, we have Carl, our MD based there, and there are a number of roles we are hiring right now. We have a country launcher based in France, based in Paris, actually, sometimes in Normandy, depending on his lockdown situation. So yeah, that is going to be potentially the second country we are going to expand into. And we have other countries on the list as well, Netherlands, Ireland. These are the same countries that we earmarked for initial expansion, and we are going to keep that plan. We think the plan is correct. At this point, quite a few people inside Freetrade are working on the European expansion. You may not see kind of like easy, quick features being shipped for a while because that's our focus. That's basically that's where our mind space is, and we are full steam ahead on that. So you will see some very significant progress on that in the coming months.
Great. And in terms of Europe, can you talk a bit about maybe the kind of strategy? How we're planning to develop that product and kind of grow the customer base in those markets.
Yeah, absolutely. So the number one thing that the team are working on, and that's really complex in its own right, is EU trading. So trading European stocks. And then after that, the very European expansion, which involves a huge number of things that we are implementing. We have to be able to handle Swedish krona, euro as well. And we have to be able to onboard these customers. It's actually fairly complex. So I've started taking a lot of my mind space on that, and it's a really complex thing. But yeah, we are charging at full steam. We will see European stocks first before we have our first official European customers. But both are happening in this sequence.
And just a note on European stocks is like it's been a painful maybe wait for some of our customers, but we've gone and done it right and built the infrastructure that's going to scale globally. So it won't be some like trivial handful of European stocks. We're going to be able to offer you like everything. It won't be everything on day one, but the way that we've built this thing, it's really meaningful. So just to
community members who have been with us for a long time, I mean, they remember when we were developing the platform, the Invest platform, for example. It's like, we have the choice, do we want to implement something that is a thin veneer on top of like another provider, or do we want to do it right? And early on at Freetrade, we decided our way is the hard way, doing things right. So that's what we are doing with Europe as well.
Okay, so there's an interesting one here. So around those numbers that you were talking about, Adam, from Q1. So what are those numbers looking like in terms of like customer deposits, for example?
I mean, the way to talk about it, I guess, is everything is up and to the right. So I love, I absolutely love the community forum thread around how many users we have, kind of tracking that. And what I can tell you is there's a high degree of correlation between that graph and our other key performance indicators. So you have, top level customers, and then you have how much money do they have with us, or assets. So we call it AUA, assets under administration. And then how often do they trade with us, and how much do they trade with us? These are kind of like the really, really high level KPIs, and it's all up and to the right. And then we had like this pretty, I would say, almost like spectacular growth curve at the beginning of January. December, November, like, how can this continue? And then this GameStop stuff happened, and it went kind of straight up, as you can see if you follow on the forum. And it's obviously not going to go like that forever, but it's not like the chart that you might see on the Freetrade app for GameStop or Tilray, where it's like psh, psh. No, it's like psh, then like a new normal. And that's the where the world we're living in is the new normal, and it's a good new normal. That's kind of all I'd say on that.
Okay, so something we've been asked a lot recently, and we did want to cover off tonight, is the 25K limits and the issue of proxy voting. So I don't know if Victor or Adam, you want to take that one and maybe just dispel any of those rumors that may be flying around, and put that to bed.
Yeah. So on the 25K thing, like, it's really what it boils down to is more of a bit of a compliance and best execution thing, like, so that we can make sure that we get the best results for our customers on the kind of the way that things are executed. So you're not going to get as the right outcome necessarily if you put in like a 500K order or something like that. You have to appreciate that often if you put it in a big order size, it gets broken up into different orders as well. So I think just, my take on it, a lot of the comments around that on Twitter and on the community stem from a kind of a lack of understanding of how the market kind of works. And we're just kind of trying to do the best thing for our customers and make sure that they're getting the best outcome for them. That said, we are working on it, and it's taking a little bit longer than I would have liked to increase that. But it's not going to be like you can put anything into an app and just press a button and you expect that it's going to execute perfectly. It just doesn't work that way, as much as we wanted to, and we wanted to make that experience as close to that as possible. Fortunately, it does for the vast majority of our customers, so that they're not asking for 500,000 pound orders, right? So that's the first part of it. Victor, you can close off the second half maybe.
Yeah, and just to add to the first half, maybe I can reveal a big reveal that we are actually working on it. It's just there is a risk perspective, there is an operational perspective on this, but it's in active preparation right now. So it's not like, oh, we absolutely don't want to increase the limit. We actually want to increase the limit. We just have to do it right. But on the, I think voting came up quite often. We are big proponents of that. We want people to be able to actively participate. It only makes sense. And there are a couple of third-party solutions in the market that we are aware of. We want to do it right, and something I can reveal that part of implementing the EU trading is that corporate action bit. So we will support elective corporate actions as part of developing that. It's a good forcing function for us to incorporate that work into the EU trading. And I personally really look forward, because I want to be able to vote. I know my individual vote based on my shareholding, in isolation won't move the needle, but I want to express my views on those elections. So yeah, it's definitely going to be supported.
Yeah, and I think that like again, reading the Twitter and comments on the community, et cetera, just be like just to be really, really clear, like we're on your side. We have no vested interest in fucking like hedge funds or whatever, or denying you a vote or whatever. It's purely you start out and we there's mandatory kind of corporate actions you have to address, such as getting a dividend. Voluntary corporate actions obviously takes second fiddle to that, but we get it. I'd like to vote too. There's one school of thought that voting in a general election, oh, your vote doesn't count. Yeah, it does. It definitely does. So we're going to do it right. We're not going to use a third party that doesn't actually actually get your vote to the general meeting or whatever. But just to confirm, we're all on the same side on this one. It kind of goes back to what I opened with, which was we've raised this Series B, maybe way more money than you might objectively say that we need, but it's so that we can supercharge these kinds of things, so that we don't have to make choices anymore around are we going to ship fractional shares for UK, or are we going to ship crypto? We can do both. We can do that, and we can do expanding to Sweden and Australia, and all those things, because I think there's been some number of questions around numbers. You want some numbers, but like I'll give you one number. We're burning our monthly burn, as in cash out the door to sustain this company, is less than 1 million. Because we have revenue, we have a real business here, with high margin revenue business, and we just raised 35 million of new capital. You do the quick math there. We got 3 years of runway. We're going to ramp up that burn a bit, and we're going to make sure that we deliver these key things that everyone's asking for. And probably like a year from now, I think maybe the burn's less because the revenue comes in. We'll see.
Yeah, it's such a good point, Adam. So we don't really, there will always be prioritization, and we'll have to make maybe some choices, but we are building an organization, and a lot of people at Freetrade taking part in creating that organization, hiring all these people. But we want to build a company that actually doesn't really have to make those like essential choices. Do we want to have like crypto and international expansion? Like Adam said, the answer is both, and we are building a team that is able to do that, which is the exciting thing. I'm seeing Andy's comment in the chat. He was hoping for an announcement in terms of what's coming to the app next week. And Andy, I'd love to tell you this amazing feature is coming. We are full tilt on the European trading right now. That's really our priority. And this is a good time after the Series B to sort of start setting up these community meetups and keep talking about that progression. And over time, start announcing those new things that are coming. It's just a pretty complex piece of work that the European trading. But
let's not forget the last time we spoke as a community, right? We didn't have a couple of really key things that we've shipped in the last month and a half. So I'm thinking instant deposit. So you go in and do a deposit these days. I just did one today. And it's there instantly. You don't have to worry about it. And it's magic when it happens, but it was quite a bit of work. Another one, SIPs. Every single, what do we have now, Victor, these days? Like 600, 700,000 customers.
700,000.
All of them have pensions. Every single one of them has a pension. I mean, automatic enrollment. I mean, maybe there's a few outliers, but they can now have that pension at Freetrade. So that was pretty huge as well. And we're working on spreading the word on that. But we're still shipping meaningful, like significant features for our customers on top of still delivering that key objective that Victor's talking about, which is taking over Europe.
Yeah, there's something really nice actually just around the corner, which I won't reveal more about, but I'm quite excited about. A very nice feature. So there's definitely stuff.
Too much.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No more on that. Really great question here from Martin.
Instant deposits is basic or whatever. It's like, no, it's not. It's not basic. You don't know what you're talking about. It's not that simple. It's a
lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it means that it's something that you find with other products, and yes, that part is correct, but it wasn't.
Please try to deliver more features ASAP. Okay, well, we're working on it, not.
We have our work cut out. How about the LISA though? Any of us wants to address the LISA question, which keeps coming, and JISA as well, evergreen questions.
Well, I'm assuming you're asking me because.
Yes.
but yeah, different account types. But it's a good example. Like, yes, we're gonna do that. We're gonna get you those account types. We will. And that's what the power of the Series B is. That we don't have to make necessarily these really difficult choices as we expand the team, so that we have this great product idea. Let's go test it or whatever. Let's spin up a team and grab these guys. That's where we want to be. We're not quite there yet. We're somewhere along that journey, but we're going to be there pretty soon, so that I don't have to, give you these answers that are not as fulfilling as they could be.
Cool. Great question here from Martin around the VCs that invested in the Series B and how they're helping us grow. I was personally on a call recently with them. That it was very, very interesting to hear their thoughts on things. But maybe you want to share a bit on that, Adam or Victor?
Yeah, I mean, so VCs, there's kind of two kinds of VCs really. There's or maybe three. There's the one that, it's capital, it's cash, and here you go do your thing, and I'll see you in 10 years, and hopefully we have more money. There's the more hands-on type that want to add kind of value or whatever you want to call it. And I think that's what we've got in this round with Left Lane. Some really top, not just top tier, but we're best in the world kind of VCs, venture capitalists that are also still kind of early on in their journey. So it's their first fund. I'm sure there will be fund 2, fund 3, fund 4. And that's what really attracted, I think, Victor and I to Left Lane to be our lead, was just like this kind of shared ambition. Yeah, what would you say, Victor? I think that was the big headline for me with Left Lane and Harley.
Yeah, I mean, Left Lane was very impressive throughout the process. I think if Freetrade was a VC fund instead of a tech company, it would be something like Left Lane. They are kind of like an upstart, like Adam said, first fund, very data driven. They were, one of the few, if not only, investors that asked for raw data and actually sliced and diced themselves and analyzed it. So they bring a lot of intellectual horsepower when it comes to internet tech businesses, and that's a lot of value. And we are having a lot of intellectually stimulating conversations about how we can create more and more value in the business. And then let's not forget Al Catterton either. It's I think they are great partners as well. They have a lot of smart people at that company. I personally benefited from chatting with, some of their people. They have the ex-CMO of Shopify there at their stable, so to say, and that's again that's a lot of value when you can surround yourself with people who kind of like stimulate kind of like more intellectual sort of like thinking and how we can create value at the business. So yeah, very happy with our investors.
But I really just can't wait to have a community meetup in person again, and order way too many pizzas and yeah, just talk to each other in person. So it might not be the next one. Hopefully it is. We got a rooftop patio on our old office, or our current office, I should say. So yeah, I hope to meet everyone in person again and do this thing old school.
That would be even better. Yeah, we'll do it. Great. Okay. Thank you, everyone.